Hi, my name is Katie Hodges, and welcome to my podcast. This is part 2 of the Being Stuck episode. So we're going to dive right in. So we had talked about how being stuck is a signal that you're not growing. It's simply a signal that you need to grow. Feeling stuck is tied to a fundamental need for growth that every human has. So we're going to get into a couple more things that I've done or people suggest to help get you out of that feeling, help stop being stuck. So next, we're going to figure out a few things that you need desperately to be happier and healthier for yourself that you're going to do every day. Start with something simple, a couple little things. Like for me, it was getting out of bed by a certain time every day because I oversleep when I'm depressed. That was a big one. It was writing something every day, even if it was just a sentence, writing something every day. And then I started to make bigger promises, like that I would go to the gym every week. I didn't make big promises on how many times or how long in the beginning, but you need to figure out some things that you are going to do every single day because this is going to build that accountability to yourself. And it's also going to put back into your life those things that make you happy, that make you feel healthy, and make you your best self that you've probably lost or let atrophy. And that's why you feel stuck. So start simple, whether it's just reading a little bit every day, or getting out of bed, or checking one thing off of that big, daunting to do list, or just moving your body, or washing your face, or brushing your teeth, or making sure that you have healthy groceries in the fridge. Just something that you're going to do every day and make it a promise to yourself. And then you need to do it. You need to make sure that you do that thing every single day. Mel Robbins says to do 3 things. I think for me personally, when I started this journey, that was a little too many. I could barely do one thing and be accountable to myself. So if you can start with 3, more power to you. But I wasn't capable of taking care of myself at all. I wasn't capable of doing anything consistently. And just even getting out of bed by a certain time was so hard for me. So start with 1 to 3 things, depending on where you're at and what you're capable of doing, but you have to start with at least something. You have to figure out one thing for yourself that you're going to do every single day, no matter what, and you have to write it down. There's a bunch of research about writing something down, about how it imprints it in our minds. It's why journaling is so transformative and important because we think differently and we retain information differently when we write it down. So start by writing down 1 to 3 things that you are going to do every single day, no matter what. No matter what happens, no matter what life throws your way, no matter what circumstances happen, no matter what people do, that you are going to do no matter what for yourself. And make that promise for yourself and follow through on it. These little habits, because you've chosen them, because you know they're things that make you happy and make you feel healthier, and because you are doing them every day and you're keeping that promise to yourself, you will grow so much and you will feel so much better and have so much more self-worth because you're building that accountability to yourself. And because you chose these things, they clearly are things that matter to you. They're clearly things that make your life better by doing them. Most people feel stuck because they don't feel worth it. I had no self-worth. I felt worthless. That's one of the big things that made me stuck and kept me stuck. with self-worth. You need to show up for yourself with action to prove to yourself that you are worth it before you can truly change your mindset for the long term. Like I said, I had a lot of aha moments that started to change my mindset, but I didn't truly embody that new mindset or truly feel different or truly start to have confidence or believe in myself or have self worth until I started following through on these promises that I'd made to myself, until I became accountable to myself. Mel Robbins says, "Your attitude right now is all a function of the future that is right in front of you." So as you start to do these little things in yourself, start to set yourself up for a better situation and a better future. Think about it. If you hate where you work and it drains your soul and it makes you miserable every day, you're not going to want to get up in the morning and go to work. If you hate your living situation and you're just starting out your day in a bad place, you're not going to want to get out of bed every day. You need to start to cultivate the life that you want, because your attitude throughout the day is going to be a direct reflection of how you view what's in front of you. And as much as people can say that you just have to have a positive mindset and change the way you think, if you really hate your job or you are in a really miserable situation, no amount of just positive thinking and affirmations is going to change that. You have to start to change your circumstances and the situation for yourself. So by making these promises to yourself, by doing these little actions and growing them into bigger and bigger promises, you can start to really change your situation. And then that will give you the ability to quit that job and do something you love, to work super hard so you can afford a better place, so that you can be surrounded by an environment that gives you the energy and the juice to work even harder and grow even more, you know? Mel Robbins says, "A solution for feeling stuck is having something in the future you're looking forward to, or taking a class where you are learning something, or changing your routine. Learning anything gets you back in touch with that fundamental need." So now we're going to move on to doing new things. So once you kind of have those promises to yourself, once you've worked for a while at doing those 3 things for yourself every single day, and then you start to have bigger goals and you start to make bigger promises to yourself, and you start to really follow through on that stuff more, you could still get stuck or feel stagnant if you're not making progress. And there's going to be times where you plateau at work or you plateau in your health journey. And by starting to do new things and starting to branch out or learn something new, or maybe take a class that you've always wanted to take to learn a new skill, or to just kind of try something that you're interested in, is going to really keep that progress going. Plus, I always say nothing's wasted. You know, any experience you have has the opportunity to learn and grow from. And I know that I love trying new things. I have like a million things I would love to learn, whether it's, skills or languages or knowledge or ideas or anything. I mean, I have a literal like 3-page long list of stuff I would love to learn and get good at. And every time that I feel really bummed out in my life, I'm not, I feel like I can't do any of those things. And then every time that I'm doing pretty good in my life, but I still kind of want more, I start thinking about those things. And every time that I start to branch out and try one of them and try new things, it really starts to like fill that gap and gives me more energy to keep going and push through that plateau. Plus, it usually exposes me to new ideas or people or ways of thinking, or gives me new skills that can jumpstart me to that next level in whatever I'm working on. When you learn new things, you also grow inherently. In order to truly learn something or to get good at something new, you have to work at it and make progress in it. And by learning something you've never learned before, you are growing. So this just will help you in so many ways. Maybe this is where you start. Maybe you're stuck and you can't get out of it. So you sign up for a class online to learn a new language on your computer from your bed. I guarantee that doing something new, or you start reading a new book that's something that you've never really thought of before, doing something new, even from your bed, is going to start to change the way you think and the way you show up for yourself. I've always been captivated by the way that knowledge can make you feel. I think it's one of the most valuable things in life. And I also have been captivated by the way learning a new skill can make you feel powerful, can make you feel like your true internal power, like the kind of power like you could lift a truck over your head, kind of powerful. I feel like this is so useful if you're trying to change your life, if you're trying to move forward, or if you've already been changing that life, but like you hit that plateau and you're just feeling so anxious because you know you're doing all the right things. You've got your goals list, you've got your values list, you're checking off your boxes every day, but you're just in a place where the growth is stagnant, or you're waiting for results because you've put a lot of time and effort into something, especially if your goals are really big, say like building a new business or, you know, creating a whole new project that is going to take a long time to see results from. You could be doing everything right, but start to feel really still in your life and feel really stagnant and anxious. And by branching out and doing something new, learning something new, trying something new, taking on new skills, you can jumpstart that plateau. You never know what you're going to learn or be exposed to or how it's going to make you feel. And something that you may do just for a passion could end up helping you in your career. It could end up jumpstarting your leadership skills or jumpstarting your ability to scale your business, jumpstarting your communication skills. And also the power that you can start to feel, like internal power from really getting good at something you never thought you would be good at, is going to build your self-worth so much to a point where you're always going to want to be looking for something new. And that can get distracting. So really being able to focus will grow you as a person. And learning something new is always exciting. It always makes me feel good to learn a new idea. It always makes me feel good to learn a better way to do an exercise at the gym. And it always jumpstarts my results. Learning something new is a great way to stop feeling stuck. Doing something different is a great way to get you out of that comfort zone, that zone in your bed where it's warm and it's safe, where you have been stuck forever. Getting outside yourself, getting outside that comfort zone will help you to not feel stuck anymore. And it'll help you to show up for yourself better. And if you show up for yourself and you're accountable to yourself, then you can pull yourself and trust yourself to pull yourself out of that stuck place and start making progress and start making this growth truly last. Mel Robbins says, feeling stuck is not a permanent state. It is a signal from your soul that there is something you need to do. Your body, your mind, and your soul operate on a system of signals. It's how you know what you need. If you feel thirsty, you need water. If you feel lonely, you need companionship. If you feel cold, you need shelter. If you feel hungry, you need food. If you feel stuck, you need growth. That's all feeling stuck means. It's a signal that you've stopped growing and your heart and your soul need to grow to survive. That's why you can feel stuck in a relationship, in a job, in the town you live in a friend group. Whenever or wherever you feel stuck, it's just a signal, so follow it. Being stuck is normal. It's not a problem, so don't make it a problem, which I do a lot. When you're thirsty, you don't have a panic attack. You get a glass of water. So the next time you feel stuck, recognize that it's a signal that you need to grow. And do something today to show your soul that you're listening. That hit me so hard when I read it. It's just a signal. I don't need to be anxious over it. I don't need to mentally masturbate what the fuck is going on with me, what's wrong with me, why am I not good enough. I just need to listen to my mind, my body, my soul, that this signal is telling me something. I just need to grow. I need to change the way I'm thinking. I need to take action. I need to try something new. It's just a signal. When you're thirsty, you don't have a panic attack, you get a glass of water. That may seem so simple, but it's not. I can't tell you how many times I've had a panic attack because I was thirsty or hungry and misinterpreted that for anxiety and just absolutely fell to the floor, literally or figuratively, but sometimes literally, just because I wasn't listening to myself, just because I wasn't listening to my body, because I wasn't listening to what I needed, because my needs weren't being met by myself. You're the only person who can truly interpret these signals for yourself, and learning to recognize your signals for anxiety, like we talked about in the last episode, learning to realize these signals of feeling stuck. These are the ways that you start to take your power back, that you start to take control of yourself, which gives you the ability to take control of your life. Feeling stuck is just a need for growth and change. If you're stuck, you want to feel unstuck, which means you have to move or change or progress. That's all it is. It's so simple. And that idea truly changed the way I thought about it. Because I always thought that stuck was not just a signal. I always thought stuck was because I wasn't good enough, or because I was in a depression, or because I wasn't working hard enough, or it was all the other things that were wrong in my life contributed to just being stuck and made me feel stuck. And that if I fixed all those little things, that then I would become unstuck. And while that's mostly true, thinking about the fact that you can feel stuck even when you're doing all the right things, but you're just waiting for results in, some big goals that you've had, or waiting for results in your health when you've done all the right stuff lately, you can feel stagnant. And you can feel stuck even if everything's kind of going your way. It's natural. Everybody goes through it. It is a natural human feeling because as a species, we had to grow and progress and adapt to survive. And if you weren't growing, if you weren't becoming a better hunter, if you weren't becoming better at communicating and contributing to the group, you would start to fall behind and you wouldn't survive. So this is a natural signal given to us to grow and change and move forward and make progress. And it can be hard to recognize with so much going on in our lives or so much that we're working towards. But if you just recognize that it's a signal and you don't react, but you start to take action, it can truly be a great motivator. Once you start to recognize these things, you have the ability to never truly feel stuck again. Now, that's not saying that I'm never going to feel stuck again. I have a very strong feeling that I will feel stuck quite a few times in my life. But I now have the ability to recognize that it's just a signal and to understand what it means and what I need to do next. because so many of my depressions, so many of my feeling stuck times in my life came from not knowing where to go next, came from not thinking I had any way out or not knowing what to do about it. And now I know that all I really have to do is move forward, is work at the next thing, put one foot in front of the other, read that book, take that class, do something to grow and change. Do something that moves me forward and makes progress in my life, in my situation, in my health, in my relationships, in my family, in my career, anything. Any one thing that you put effort and action into can help move you out of feeling stuck. So don't freak out. Listen to that signal. Listen to that signal and think about what it's telling you. What area of your life is stagnant? What area of your growth is stagnant? What area of your health? Instead of falling into a depression, I want to be able to assess myself and my situation and be able to see, oh, this is what's holding me back, or this is where I feel really anxious, or this is the thing that I can't stop thinking about that I can't change right now, and it's not happening fast enough. So let's just realize that we can't control it, and let's do something that we can control. Let's read a new book. Let's learn a new language. Let's take a walk every single day and move our body and spend time with our loved ones. Something. It is a signal to take action. It is a signal to grow and change. So expand your life. Force yourself to take action. Force yourself to get out of your head. Force yourself to get past your feelings. Force yourself to get out of your comfort zone. Force yourself to be accountable to yourself. All of these things are step by step, in whatever order they work for you, going to dramatically change you. If I didn't force myself to stop that loop of negative self-talk and that shame spiral that I was living in, I wouldn't be here right now. If I didn't force myself to read every single week a certain book, plus do a certain amount of research and reading on important topics like anxiety or the sympathetic nervous system or stuff like that every single week, and give myself goals like that, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't make a promise to myself to get my health back on track and go to the gym every single week, no matter what, no matter even if I could barely do it or if I couldn't finish a workout because I was so weak, but to at least go every single week, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't force myself to take action even though I didn't feel ready, I wouldn't be here. If I didn't force myself to put myself out there like this and start this podcast, I definitely wouldn't be here today and feel the way that I do today. If I didn't force myself to get honest with myself and to imagine the life that I wanted and where I truly was at and the huge differences between that, I would not be here. So you have to force yourself. That's why you're feeling stuck, and that's why it's so hard to get out of. It's not easy to unstuck yourself. You have to force it, and you're the only one who can do that. You have to completely reset your mindset on what you are capable of, on what you've been doing right and wrong, and really analyze what you need to do moving forward. Be honest with yourself. You have to make promises to yourself and you have to keep them. Be accountable to yourself. Stop looking outside yourself for what's going to make you happy, for what's going to make you unstuck, for what's going to pull you out of this feeling. Stop looking outside yourself. You are the only one, no matter how loving and supportive Your family and friends are. You're the only one who can make yourself unstuck. You are the only one. You can't fix your internal problems with external solutions. You will only make it harder for yourself if you continually look for happiness and for the tools to make you feel happy or satisfied or motivated outside of your own self. Growth is different for everybody and looks different for everybody. So what works for me may not work for you. What worked for the person in the book you're reading may not work for you. What worked for your friend who keeps trying to motivate you and get you out of bed may not work for you. That's okay. But it's your responsibility to try and learn something from each of these people, each of these experiences and situations, and find what works for you. The reason that I'm doing all this research is because I draw so much value from so many different things. So many different things have come together in my experience to make me the person I am today. It wasn't just one thing or one person or one idea. In fact, it's hundreds of ideas and dozens of people and dozens of different connections that I make along the way. Everyone is different and their growth will be different, and it's going to be different for everybody. You have to find what works for you. You have to take it upon yourself and realize that you are the only one who is responsible for this. And you have to figure out, what is your special sauce? What is that cocktail of stuff that really starts to change your life? But it's only going to come to you if you start to expose yourself to new ideas and you start to try stuff and see what works and what doesn't work. I've gone through so many things over the last year that didn't work for me, but that worked for people close to me. Or I watched work as people started to progress in my life. And I just wondered why it wasn't working for me, because everybody is different. But once I realized that, I was able to learn from this, even if it wasn't for me. Nothing's wasted. Your life is your responsibility. Thank you for coming to my podcast. If you enjoyed anything you heard here, please subscribe. And until next time, my name's Katie Hodges, and thank you for listening.